Hey, everybody. Sex, Drugs, and Opera. This is your... Were you going to go? I thought you were going to go.
I had no idea.
I thought you were going to go. This is your podcast for November 17th, and this is episode 17.
Oh!
Look at that. November 17th, 2018.
The nail on the head.
Hope you're doing okay. I got to get a sip of coffee here.
Ooh.
Mike and I, we kind of always talk about what we're going to do in our episodes, but we don't exactly plan the beginning, so...
And we didn't exactly plan this episode either.
No,
it's going to be a little freestyle.
A general outline. If it's a little echoey today, I'm sorry. We're in my studio in Frankfurt. It's a great place to sing in, but it's not the best place for recording radio.
Seriously, your voice sounds fucking huge in here, dude.
No, this is basically like a shower that's the size of like a whole room. It's like a bathhouse or something.
It's awesome.
I got some coffee going.
It's like you're in Turkey singing in one of those naked bathhouses. Naked.
Yeah, basically. So, Mike, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Mike, I'm really nervous. Don't kick my foot under the
I
table.
won't.
Okay?
Dude, that's ridiculous. You're a donkey.
I
You're a donkey cock.
I broke 3 toes a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about
That's
that.
what I mean. Don't please
that's
don't
why.
kick my foot.
I thought you were just being a little homophobic.
No, man, I'm so in control about it. You forgot that I even did it.
I totally forgot.
You want to see him?
Yeah, kinda.
All right. They're better now, man. But you should have seen them when it happened, man.
Oh, you mean you're actually gonna show me the toes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold on.
Lol. Lol.
You ready for this shit?
Yep.
Look at that.
Oh, fuck.
Look at that one. That one looks like.
Oh my God.
It
Tell
looks-
him how you did it, pro.
Well, it looks like it's gonna fall off. It looks like frostbite. It's good now though. It was like black. I dropped weights on it at the gym. Pretty simple mistake. It happens sometimes. Just when I'd gotten off the pain pills, I'm back on, everybody.
Normally, Jared injures himself at the gym somehow, and normally I injure myself getting drunk and fucking stumbling on something.
You know what's funny about the hospital? Though? I've said it
Each their
before.
own.
German hospitals are free, but you pay with your time.
Stay on the
right?
mic, dude. If not, you're
Sorry.
echoey as shit.
Sorry. They're free, but you pay with your time. But something that's funny about the hospital I've noticed with my last couple of visits too is doctors don't prep you for what they're going to do to you, and I think it's from experience. Like when they give you an injection, like when my toe was broken, I broke my middle one in 2 places, so it was crooked, so they had to straighten it, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't say like, okay, I'm going to pull on your toe now to straighten it, and it's going to hurt, right? He just did it. He was just like, all right, so boom, right? And she also had to inject my toe with something. Same thing. She just fucking do it. I think doctors learned that if you leave room for negotiation, then people will be like, wait. You know?
No, exactly. I kind of appreciate that. I appreciate them just saying, all right, it's going to happen. It has to happen. It's going to happen. I'm doing it. I am in charge. Go.
Yeah, and for some
This
reason,
is how you should treat life sometimes, baby.
whenever I have these
Fucking
experiences,
jump in.
whenever I have these experiences, my brain always makes an association to music and singing. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, how can I use this broken toe experience on the stage or
Oh
something
my
like that?
God.
Or like the doctor. I know, man, it's fucking lame, but it's what I do.
I
okay?
guess it is a time to study how limping really works.
No, because there's different limps.
Yeah.
I swear to God, man, because if you break the top of your foot, you can't bend your foot at all. So you have a different limp than just the toes. I can go heel ball, but I just can't roll.
Oh, that's interesting.
They look different. Here,
Well, that's actually pretty cool.
you got to vamp for a second. I got to put the sock back on, and I need...
I don't know,
both
dude.
hands.
I sometimes claim about vamping that I can vamp, but I can't vamp at all. I just vamp about vamping is what you said.
Yeah, and look-
Dude, we can hear you too, so go ahead.
All right, so...
Dude, I'll tell you what. I think I might have mentioned it on the podcast before, but if there's one thing in the world I can't fucking stand,
Yeah.
it is people whenever 2 lanes have to merge that think it's better to merge early
Yeah.
instead of everybody going to the merging point and merging there.
Oh, you think that's the right way?
Dude, are you fucking stupid? That is the only way. That is it goes as a zipper. Otherwise, one line backs up and the other line is completely open. That's how traffic exists.
That's the
Are you
German
one of
way.
those
That's the German
dickheads?
way. You just said zipper, okay? I know where you're coming from.
Dude, that's an American
Wait,
thing.
you think
zipper.
going into the merge lane early makes me a dickhead?
Yes, it
Yes?
does. It actually backs up traffic, dude. Think about it. More cars can go forward whenever both lanes are completely utilized and they're merging at one specific point. If everybody chaotically is merging into 2 lanes at different points, it's fucking chaos.
All right.
And then one lane is completely underutilized. You're the fucking reason.
You're
the reason.
you're probably right, but
no,
I
definitely
don't care
am
enough.
right, but you're the fucking reason. Jesus,
It's 'cause-
I didn't know
no,
I was
it's-
going to know this about you today.
But I'm not about like the most efficient way to merge.
You should be. That's how traffic
man.
is.
No,
Look.
that's too stressful.
No, listen. The
right.
whole thing with traffic is
Yeah.
that have you ever been like driving
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. Have you ever been driving and then you're in a traffic jam and all of a sudden then the traffic jam just stops?
Yeah.
And you're like, why the fuck was there a traffic jam? It's because traffic jams can exist. They can start from somebody just braking too quickly. And then it's a chain effect.
Yeah.
Because everybody's reaction is delayed just a little bit compared to the person who made the original reaction. Actually, the Mythbusters made a huge... they experiment. They did
an episode.
They did an episode about that where they showed it's like kind of like the butterfly effect. Like you know what the butterfly effect is, where the theory is a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil can cause a hurricane on the other side of the fucking world, right? It's actually like that. Somebody braking just very slightly can basically throw off the entire traffic pattern. So if you already have a spot where there are two lanes that have to merge and people are already having to cause everybody else to brake early to let them merge into a different lane, then you're fucking everything up. Dude, I can't believe I had to explain this
It's
to you.
like when you're singing in a quartet and you come in a beat late, then the next person behind you.
I love that that's the accent you went with.
The pretentious
The
voice?
fucking, in my Harvard quartet.
Indubitably.
I like it, dude. That's perfect.
Look, but I want to say my side, okay?
I don't know if you should.
You squawked your side. Now I want to say mine.
All right, I guess.
I want to get in the merge lane early because then I don't have to worry. Then I just sit there.
You
It's
can
stressful
sit-
to fucking merge lane.
you
I just
can
get in. I just listen to the radio, and if it takes 5 extra minutes, it takes 5 extra minutes. All right.
It's not 5 extra minutes. It's then creating a backup that's much more than 5 extra minutes. And why can't you sit in the left lane until it's time to do it?
Because
you clearly see whenever it's time to
your
go.
method takes society working together. But the reality is the people in the right lane will stop you from entering. They waited, and they're not going to fucking let you in.
They will not stop you from entering up at the merge point. No, they won't. They will try to stop you from merging early. That's true.
All right.
They'll try to say, oh, no, fuck, no. But up there, it's like, well, what else is he going to do? Dude, you're completely fucking wrong about this.
I'll try it. Okay.
Should we get beer?
Yeah, get your beer.
My beer? I'll do it.
Mine needs time to cool.
Mine's okay.
Yeah, it's that time of year, everybody, where in Germany you start putting your beer outside instead of your refrigerator. I don't know if people do that in the States, but in Germany it's like on people's balconies and doors you just see beer. Mike's very here. Make sure you latch it, otherwise someone's gonna fucking come in here. We're not in the best part of town here.
Now, Jared has like a fucking a dungeon door here where you have to clamp it down.
Yeah, we're on a main strip here. It's a good studio though, but you know
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All
right.
right.
Mike and I are at a desk right now. I kind of feel like I'm at a parent-teacher conference.
Who's the teacher?
There's a desk in here. Well, look at my chair, man. My chair is better than yours. All right,
That's a director's chair, dude. That looks like something a kid sits in, ironically.
just fuck off. Do the beer. Hey, wait. Let me check it. We're good. Okay, do the beer.
Okay.
Do it.
You have your opener.
Yeah, my keys there on the floor.
So now I have to get.
Just do it, man. I'm stuck in here and I got broken toes, man.
Right, go for it.
God.
So I'll explain from here.
When you're a 31-year-old bearded man, no one gives a shit if you're limping down the street with broken toes.
That's true.
You know how many people helped me? You know how many people held the door for me? No one.
Louis C.K. had a great bit about that where he said, nobody wants to help. Nobody says they felt good because they helped a 40-year-old man today.
No.
You're in this gray zone where you can't be.
I'm not like a kid. I'm not helpless, but like.
Right, you're
you know,
old
I'm
enough
not
to know
old.
better, but you're not old enough for anybody to give a fuck about you.
No, people use my limp as a chance to get ahead of me, you know?
This beer,
Yeah.
haven't had it for a while.
Okay.
People talk down on this shit. I remember them doing it.
Yeah.
When I tasted again, I loved the taste when I had it because I haven't had it for a long time.
Okay.
We got some twisty off caps.
Oh, twist offs.
Miller Genuine Draft, baby.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Miller Genuine Draft.
I haven't seen a bottle of this in like 7 years.
That's right, buddy. I mean,
Where did you get this? Oh,
there's a place in it's a twist off cap.
oh, that's weird. I haven't done that in forever. Ow. Are you fucking with me?
Yeah, apparently not.
Ah!
Dude,
I don't want to lose out on the experience.
come on. What do you go to the gym for if you can't open this? Here, give it to me. I do it with mine. I cheat, but
Oh, jeez. Okay.
anyway.
I feel like a
This
bitch.
has a different taste than like a normal German Pilsner, right?
Okay.
But it's awesome. I miss it. I can drink that shit
man.
all day. That reminds me of watching a football game.
That takes me back.
Right?
It's crazy when you taste something you haven't tasted in like 7 or 8 years, especially when you're abroad.
Actually,
Man, I was just back in college there for a second.
and you know what? This Pop Guard that I'm using today
Is that what it
smells
smells
like a
like?
bar.
Yeah.
And this is the beer that I would drink in a bar, like watching a Steel. I used to watch Steelers games in a Steelers bar in Cincinnati called Martino's, right?
Yeah.
Huge Steelers bar. I mean, really fucking awesome.
Man, thanks for bringing that. It's crazy, like you have a taste or a smell sometimes, and it brings I'm remembering like 20 different bars I'd forgotten about.
See? I mean,
'Cause-
isn't
'cause
that
that's-
interesting?
In Germany, the typical beer you drink is Beck's, which I guess everybody fucking knows. What was that?
No, keep going. I accidentally pulled this out of my.
Oh, okay. Beck's, everyone knows, I guess. That's like the Miller Lite or the Bud Light of most of Germany.
Maybe we should do a poll to see if people know Beck's or not.
Speaking of people writing in, the last episode we had talked, some girl had written in talking about like my accent, and I claimed to not have one. And so many fucking people wrote me and told me I'm wrong, and I definitely have some sort of strange accent.
Do I?
Yeah, so next, can you people write in and tell me if Mike has an accent? All right.
I don't think I have the accent yet.
Apparently I have some sort of accent. I don't know. That is really good, man.
I know. I knew you'd like it. It's the most I've ever paid. Watch it. It's gonna.
Oh, the old 10 a.m. beer.
It's the most I've ever paid for Milliers. My grandfather, Bud Pegger. Bud Pegger came up on the last one. He used to call it a Milliers. Milliers.
So you get into the holiday spirit already? You started watching Christmas movies on Netflix?
Not yet. Not quite.
Dude.
And I don't do Netflix Christmas movies because they don't have the good ones.
They have... Netflix just says, fuck you, because they know you're going to watch it. I watched one called The Holiday Calendar.
Why do you do this shit, dude?
Because I just wanted to watch a new Christmas movie, and it was there. You should watch it just for how bad it is.
All right.
Fuck that movie.
Oh, I think I saw the ads for it.
And these Netflix composers, man, they're all writing like each other. There was a time where like Westworld or like whatever the fuck had like this really original sounding like music, but now they just fucking copy each other.
Yeah.
Sabrina, man, if I hear one more 4-3 suspension, I'm gonna fucking
Dude, I
kill
don't
somebody.
know. So my wife is watching it, and
Sabrina?
Jared's watching it with his.
I watched the whole thing. I watched
Dude,
the
I don't
whole
know.
show.
I don't know how you did that. It's so clearly targeted. I tell Dota this
After
all the
3
time.
episodes, it gets fucking terrible, man.
It's so clearly targeted at you're watching a witch in high school.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't get it.
No, but Netflix also does this thing where it's like once they have you, they're like, fuck you. Like, like
We're gonna feed you whatever kind of shit we want to
They
feed
open
you.
the door and like you look in, you're like, well, that looks nice, and you go in and then they slam the door and they're like, fuck you, we got you. Like that's what this holiday calendar was. If you guys want a bad time, watch the holiday calendar.
Hey, I got something I want to kind of want to talk about before we get into what people are writing in.
Okay,
Yeah?
okay. Yeah, we got a lot of write-ins this week. We gotta get to.
I heard something. We hear a lot about the language that we use, right?
Okay, yeah.
Which there is. I sent Jared a video of a guy named Steven Pinker doing. I think he's a cognitive scientist, a cognitive psychologist or something. Is his main profession, but he wrote in talking about the different sorts of swearing. He's
Right.
very into linguistics.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting. But the one thing I wanted to say is I love when clearly intelligent people who have a huge vocabulary, right? I love when people have a big vocabulary and still swear. When you have other words and it's clear, but you still want to. I don't know why that appeals to me that much, but like I was telling you earlier, George Carlin is like one of my favorite people ever, one of my favorite comedians. And that guy swears like a sailor, but one of the most intelligent comedians you could possibly listen to.
Yeah, I think there's intelligence, but also sometimes I think it's a matter of open-mindedness. Like, if you don't limit yourself, if you're not limited by society, like sociological regions or like, I don't know, some need for class or religion or something, you just say, fuck it, I can use whatever words I want whenever I want, then there's certain open-mindedness. Why are you looking at my mic?
I'm not. I'm just looking over, dude. I'm listening
It's like,
to you.
I read this thing online that like, if you want to psychologically fuck with someone, look at their forehead when they're talking to you.
Dude, just
That will
fucking
fuck them
talk.
up. The nose, the mouth. I was done, man. That was it. That's all I wanted to say. Okay,
you could
open-minded. Okay,
stare
I'm
at
free.
my tonsils.
I'm fucking.
Which, by the
free.
way, I want to
Be loud as
caveat.
shit
I
in
want to
here.
put a caveat in there that
Okay.
I take seriously the criticism that we swear gratuitously. I think that's kind of true sometimes. The problem is I kind of want to. So
Yeah, I mean, That's true, but as I said again, we don't really change anything for the podcast. This is kind of how we were there. Hold on, I
This
got
is just who we are. It's who we are.
You know, while I'm thinking about it, this is kind of random. There's an app that I think Mike actually introduced me to called Cam Scanner.
Yeah.
And this shit has saved my life. If you guys
the
don't use
best.
Cam Scanner, you can take a picture of any document, and I use it for music, and it has all these settings. It's black and white setting. It'll adjust it so it's straight. It takes very clear photos, automatically makes it a PDF on your phone. Then you can send it to a pianist. Mike and I, when we do concerts together, we send the music back and forth with that. But I just keep it on my phone. And now, theoretically, I have my whole audition rep on my phone.
Yeah, totally.
And if I was in a city and they were like, you want to do an audition tomorrow, or do you want to jump in an hour? I'd be like, let me just go to a copy shop and print this out.
Right.
So if you guys have not checked out Cam Scanner, do it. Or if you're using a different app that takes pictures of music and saves it as a PDF, then write us and let us know what that is.
But I doubt it could get any easier than Cam Scanner. I mean, it's so fucking fast.
There's no
easy.
down. It takes great photos and it adjusts it so it's straight.
Yeah.
The only downside is there's like a Cam Scanner watermark at the bottom.
You could get, but like
But
every
it's just
app,
like it's like a
you
publisher
could get that
thing.
taken away.
Yeah, but who cares, you know? But,
Exactly.
But then
Give
you have
them
a
the credit.
you have a PDF of your music that you can print off double-sided. If anyone's using something better, let us know. But otherwise, if you guys aren't using Cam Scanner, do it and upload your.
Good plug, dude. Good plug.
It saved me the other day. You know, like I had a pianist. I'm doing a concert in a little while. And I had a pianist that was like, "Shit, can I have the music of that aria?" And I was just like, "Click, click, boom, done." Like they wrote me, and 30 seconds later they had the PDF because it's on my fucking phone.
Right.
All right. Cam Scanner.
Cam Scanner.
All right. I just like the studio because you'd be loud.
My kids are both. I don't know why. Jack wants to be a dog, like every child.
Like
so
when he grows up, or
he
what?
crawls around and
Okay.
fucking barks. And Jeannie, all of a sudden, nobody told her to.
Yeah.
Just started being a cat all of a sudden. So she came. She crawled up on my bed and was like, "Brow, brow," walked right up to my face and licked my nose.
Where did
Full fucking tongue out. She just came up. "Brow, brow." I'm like,
did
"God, Jeannie, you're a cat." She's like, "Brow," and licked.
She
my
loves
nose.
cats though. When she sees a dog, she likes it, but when she sees a cat, she freaks the fuck out.
Freaks
man.
out.
So let's start getting into some of these write-ins. First off, we had Sebastian Kelga, right? Wrote us in. He actually wrote us in an IPA of his name because we're not so good with Danish, Mike and I.
That's right.
And his name was Sebastian Kelga. Apparently, the J and like the RD.
The J is not a J glide, and the RD are silent
Yeah,
completely.
Danish is crazy, man.
awesome.
And
I
actually,
love it.
I got to try to do another Danish name today, so I'll see how it goes. I don't know if you guys know, but Mike and I on our website, we have a blog.
Yeah, I've not posted anything for a week or so, but I want to keep that up. I love posting that stuff.
Well, and and we have a blog, and our goal is to someday stimulate some sort of platform where singers can kind of talk to each other. But you can leave comments under our blog posts. And I wrote this one blog post about apples, because singers are always eating fucking apples.
Do you want to read it out
know
to
what I mean?
us?
Oh, it would take
You
too
don't
long
have
to
to.
find it. I just said, what the fuck's with apples? Because people say it keeps them hydrated, but how the fuck are you hydrated if there's no water in your body? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because what I've heard is you eat an apple and then you don't have to pee on stage because it keeps you
The thing
hydrated.
is, it might hydrate you, but I doubt it hydrates you better than water.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And then why not grapes? So the blogs are completely not serious. Some of them are serious, but this one wasn't. But actually, a guy wrote us in,
mental
and so he
diarrhea.
said, I found this interesting, so I'm going to share it.
Share away.
He said, I've been through some voiceover training and and one of the suggestions for a voiceover toolkit to take with you to a job was a Granny Smith apple. If you take a bite of the apple, it would cleanse any tackiness out of your mouth and clean up your sound. This is really about on-mic work, as any sticky mouth sounds get picked up by the mic and ruins the sound, and you cannot fix that later. Maybe there's a crossover to singing, or maybe not. I think that probably doesn't have much to do with opera singing, but I found that super interesting. I never would have thought of that. All these dirty mouth sounds we have on our podcast because we're eating muffins and coffee.
Maybe with your dirty whore mouth.
If we had some apples, yeah, you don't know where my mouth has been.
No, here's the thing though. I actually have trouble biting into an apple nowadays.
Why?
Well, because when I bite into it, it goes and gets up it fucks up my gums. Whenever I bite into it, it pushes on my gums and it hurts. I don't like it.
You got to cut it up in little pieces.
I do.
man.
I cut it up into little pieces like a child.
And put it like in a little like non-spill bowl.
But for me to bite into an apple,
Yeah.
I don't like doing that. Is that what? Do you have to bite into it like that, or can you
It has
cut
to
up?
somehow get into your mouth.
Well, okay.
It has to go into your mouth, Mike.
Look, I was just gonna like shove it in my ass.
If you put it up your ass, you'll get the nutrients, but you won't get the anti-smackiness. You know.
Come on, that doesn't clean up your mouth.
In high school, we had a problem. We had a real problem with kids in my high school putting vodka-soaked tampons up their ass.
Dude, that is so dangerous.
That will don't kids don't do that shit. Okay, one shot of vodka in the mouth is like 5 shots of vodka in the ass. You know what I mean?
Now, other way around. One shot of vodka in the ass is like 5 shots of vodka.
That's
in the
what I
mouth.
meant. That's what I meant. You will think one shot of vodka in your mouth is one shot, but if you put that same amount of vodka up your ass, that it is like way more.
Yeah, it's really.
You can-
First off, okay, there's a lot of stuff to unpack here.
All right, let's get into it.
Why the fuck? First off, don't you want to enjoy the taste? Don't you want to kind of enjoy the taste of whatever you're gonna fucking drink? Why would you say?
Some kids want to just get fucked up.
Why would you say let's bypass the drinking part and just shove stuff up our ass? Secondly, I suppose there's nothing wrong with getting enjoyment of shoving stuff up your ass, but I can't imagine wanting to say, yeah, I'm gonna shove alcohol in my ass.
I mean, it's not. It's pretty easy to do with the tampon. I think I've never done it. I would tell you if I did. But there was a show I used to watch called 1,000 Ways to Die, and like some alcoholic somehow like injured his throat or something, and he couldn't drink, so he had his wife put like a liter of wine up his ass or something like that. It was enough to kill him.
Yeah, no, look.
You know how often I drink a bottle of wine?
It goes
all the
straight-
time.
It goes straight into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
The alcohol goes straight into your bloodstream that way. It's very, very fucking dangerous.
Yeah. Don't put shit in your ass. Don't put drugs or alcohol in your ass. You can put whatever else in the ass you want.
There was another thing that I saw about in Japan. There was this trend of kids licking each other's eyeballs
When?
in like a sexual way.
Oh my God! I heard
during
about that.
sex, they would
that
lick
was
their
called
eyeballs.
something. Yeah, yeah. And
I can't remember what it's called, but that is super fucking dangerous. All these
Yeah,
kids
that
were
like-
going blind because you have the nastiest shit in your mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but you have the nastiest shit in your mouth. And when you lick somebody's eyeball, with your tongue, you can really easily scratch their cornea, I guess.
Jesus.
And then
Yeah,
this
'cause your
bacteria
tongue's
gets in there,
got-
and you just lose an eyeball.
Look, don't put vodka in your ass. Don't lick eyeballs. Okay.
Right.
If you learn nothing else on the podcast today, just cut those 2 elements out of your life.
I know it's hard.
I know it's hard.
I know it's hard,
but you know, just supplement it with something else. You know.
Right.
Okay.
lick something else, put something else
you
up
can
your
put
ass.
dry tampons up your ass.
You can
That's
put
fine.
whatever you. There are
Yeah.
all kinds of things you can put up your ass safely.
Believe it or not,
But
they
vodka
make things to go up your ass.
how
you
about
can
that?
you could buy things that are purpose.
You can find people who
yeah.
will gladly
There's
participate
people
in
that
being
will
in your ass.
that will put things
No
up your
problem. No problem.
ass. All right.
Just don't let it be a vodka-soaked tampon, and don't let them lick your eyeball.
So to summarize, apples take smackiness out of the out of the sound of your mouth.
That's how we got there. That's right.
Someday we gotta like plot one of these episodes. Like,
Sorry for that, Kilgaw.
yeah. So we went
for
from
that.
Kelga to apples to assholes. All right.
I love that. Just go with the current. I like it.
All right. So I guess now's as good a time as any. So we got 4 new sponsors to announce this episode.
Oh,
4
man.
new ones, man. And I'm going to fuck up your guys' names. So I am so sorry, but we very much appreciate your help. So we got Chad Rustin, I think, Aaron Gorkovchuk, Ariane Maximin, and then this is the Danish one, all right? Caroline Marie Eastebø Berry.
Wait, let me see.
No,
Eastebø
look,
Berry?
it looks like if I said it with an American
Blueberry.
accent, it'd be Carolyn Marie, and then this is the with the slash through it.
Oh yeah,
Right?
I think it's probably a mixed.
And actually, I looked this up on the internet. Berk, right? I would say that Berg or Berk actually in Swedish is Berry.
But she's not Swedish.
Yeah,
is
but I
she?
couldn't find Danish, and so I took a guess. So Caroline, you got to write in and let us know how to say
We
your name.
told you, if you're from a Scandinavian country,
Please give us IPA.
IPA. God damn it.
But Chad, Aaron, Ariane, Caroline,
love
thank
it.
you so much.
You know what I think of? I think of Hanging Chad from the 2000 election. Remember the Hanging Chads?
I know the Hating Chad episode of How I Met Your Mother.
No, don't you remember during the election?
Yes.
People would fill in their ballot. You had to poke out this hole, and there would be a hanging Chad, and they would consider that not a vote. It was something.
It was a good time to be named Chad.
Thank you for your support.
Everybody, thanks, and to our other sponsors. Mike and I have uploaded some new stuff to the sponsor section, some videos.
Who were the other ones? We had Miss
in the past.
Mrs. Booberry and Chad, Hanging Chad. Who were the other ones?
Today, Ariane, Aaron, Caroline, and Chad.
Aaron. Nice.
So
thank you guys.
Everybody, thank you very much. You're now able to go to the sponsor section. I've sent you the passwords. If you have a problem, let me know. We put some videos in there of mic checks, our Halloween laugh contest. We also put a new podcast in there for you guys. So for other sponsors, go check that out. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, so Mike and I are doing Thanksgiving this Thursday.
Not Thursday, on the weekend, dude.
Well, we're doing it early because Thanksgiving's not a thing in Germany. So
Thanksgiving is way fucking early this year too. It seems.
Yeah, because November 1st was on a Thursday.
Right, and there are five Thursdays.
Yeah.
And
so it fucked me up because actually we were going to do it next weekend, but I'm out of town because I thought Thanksgiving was the week after that.
Well, I was. So my wife was like, no, it's on the 22nd. I'm like, you are fucking wrong. It's always on the last Thursday of
I did it too. I got
Thursday.
super arrogant.
I was super arrogant.
I was like, fuck you. This isn't even your holiday. You know?
Last Thursday, which it is normally because there are normally only 4.
Now, we were wrong, but finding that shit's hard. We got things we do. I always base the turkey. I always marinate the turkey, and I get the pumpkin pie stuff. Mike's wife makes the pumpkin pie. Then Mike makes the fucking...
P-U-N-K-P-U-I?
Mike makes that pineapple stuffing.
Oh, man.
Is that a secret recipe, or are you gonna...
maybe we can... maybe we could put some recipes out. We'll make a blog post and do an SDAO Thanksgiving recipes.
Yeah, we'll do a blog post, or maybe we could do some stories or something to show what we're doing on that day.
Or maybe we make that a secret sponsor content.
Who knows?
Ooh.
Mike, oh, man,
sorry,
you peaked hard. So Mike and I doing Thanksgiving this day. All right, so should we get to some of
I'm getting sick of being wrong to my wife, I gotta say.
Yeah, man, get used to it.
I know things, but for some reason I don't know them whenever my wife is there.
Yeah,
and
man.
she ends up being right. So I know that sounds like a fucking...
Dude, talking to women's hard, okay? You'll learn. You'll learn.
I don't know if I will. I'm 34 years old, and I haven't learned yet. When will I learn?
That's true. You'll never learn. Okay, so we got to write in, again, through the website. This is anonymous, so... the anonymous thing.
How do you pronounce that name?
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
So we've had a lot of people write us in through our portal on the website, and it works perfectly. I have no idea who the fuck you people are, so
I love it.
I'm still waiting for some solid hate mail.
Anonymous.
All right, ready for this shit?
Yes.
Hi guys. Just listening to the beginning of the November 3rd podcast and your conversation about opera bros makes me think of critics. I'd love to hear a podcast on the theme of opera criticism. I know 2 singers who are of differing non-professional status who have begun to write articles for online journals. The magazines pay for their tickets, and then they write the article. It's crazy because you read the often extremely damning and inaccurate articles, and it sounds like they are some sort of expert in the field. They are literally 24 and 26 years old, just figuring out their own style. The reason they are published is because of their adherence to the ideals of the canon. This is why, as Mike rightly points out, even when it seems positive, they only work to reinforce these norms. Love you guys. You're the most sensitive bros I listen to.
Aww.
Smiley face.
Sensitive bros. I like it.
Yeah, sensitive
like
bros
it.
is fine,
You.
okay? But opera bros is still... You know,
fuck it.
We're not getting back into it.
Yeah. 24, 26 years old. There's nothing to say that a 24 and 26 year old opinion is not right. The problem I see often is that if you say things are... Anybody can say something's good, but for some reason we have this feeling as human beings, I think. Whenever you make a criticism, when you say something bad, that somehow validates you. Validates you. Or validates, I said.
Yeah, who's got an accent now, man?
Validates you. It somehow makes you more trustworthy if you say something bad. People really look to say bad things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of human nature, but also it's way easier to criticize something.
Yeah.
It's way easier to say, there is a standard and that did not match it.
Right,
Why?
right.
Because that's shit. It's boring. And then they throw out all these buzzwords.
You see this all the time with people getting fucking offended on, like, professionally offended.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it validates you to somehow say, to be like this trailblazer and say, oh, well, and just fucking criticize.
Especially if somebody's doing something unique. If you like it, then you're putting yourself in the minority, and that's a hard thing to do. But also, there's much better words for criticizing. You know?
Yeah.
That was boring. That was derivative. That was all this stuff. But if it was good, then you actually have to know the standard pretty fucking well to be able to say that was it. That was very good. The way he did this and that was impressive.
Which I gotta say, I'm not sure. I'm not putting down 26-year-olds. I used to be one myself, but it is. I would trust my opinion now more than I did when I was 26 years old. It's not that long ago, but still, I've learned a lot in that time.
Yeah, and it's again, it's not an age thing; it's an experience thing, and usually you're a bit older if you've experienced.
And by the way,
more.
that is my experience too. There are all kinds of people who write for magazines here in Germany who. I knew them personally.
Right.
Like I knew this one person. I'm not gonna say names. Not gonna.
There you go. No names.
Like she was just a person, just some person with no particular training in the field or this or that, and all of a sudden, this person is now doling out opinions as if her opinion means more than the other person's opinion. I mean,
there's
totally
a couple things with that. I'm gonna kind of argue both sides.
Argue both.
So first off, the thing is I do have respect for people whenever they start doing something before they're ready. Too many people wait till they're ready, then they never do it. And you know what? At some point, if you feel like you got something to say, start saying it. And if people don't listen, then maybe you're not ready. But keep saying it until people start to listen.
Yeah, I mean.
So if I was given a platform to criticize somebody and I thought it was bad, I would want to feel the freedom to say that that's bad. You know, that's one side of it.
Okay, well then let me say something to that side, and then you say the other side. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think if somebody comes to you and says, "Would you like to write this article for us?" Excuse me.
Nice.
That beer. If somebody says, "Would you like to write this something for us?" What are you gonna say? You're gonna say no. No, I don't think I'm mature enough. I don't think my ideas are ripe enough to say. No, you don't say that. You take the opportunity. It's not your fault for taking an opportunity that somebody's gonna give you.
Right.
The fault rests pretty squarely on the shoulders of the publication, who gets somebody that might not have a ripe enough opinion. But that being said, difficult to find somebody for the right price with the right experience.
Yeah, sure. And also in today's day and age of how easy it is to start a blog or something online, everybody just copies everybody else. You know?
Yeah,
You look at people who already doing it, and you look at the way they write, and these big publications, they also bitch all the time and shit, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's a good point. Like, there's nothing if you have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There are all kinds of. We didn't have. Nobody came and asked us to be on their show. We had opinions that we wanted to say, so we made it. And online, you can do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it all the time. It's great.
Yeah.
So nothing necessarily against the people doing it, but anyway, what's the other side? Then
the other side
there's
is
some other things.
We get a lot of people that write us in about young artist programs and about like critics and stuff like that. And I am not a negative person. I like to think I'm a bit more realistic, but maybe I'm a bit negative sometimes. But the thing is you guys also got to understand that like when you start talking about publications and big stages and big careers and stuff, you're starting to move out of the artistic aspect of music and you're moving into the business side.
Yeah.
And you can't be surprised when people are doing the business side like business. You know what I mean? If you go back to Bach, it was like what the church wants is what you fucking write. He wasn't doing whatever the fuck he wanted. And when you keep going to Mozart, it was the king and it was nobility and this type of stuff. Even through Verdi and stuff. And even now, if Mike and I wanted to do a concert and make money, we could go sing what we want. No one's going to come. The best way to make money in Germany is we would go to a Schumann club, a Schubert club, a Wagner Verein, right? And we would say, hey, we want to sing Wagner. Will you give us money to sing Wagner? They said yes. So now we're singing Wagner because that's where the money is.
I mean, people think that they don't have. If you're offering a product,
Yeah.
and there's not like a government or a king or somebody telling you to do it. People think they're free to do what they want, and you technically are. But to be successful, you still have a master, and that is the public, who is the consumer. People don't think that it doesn't seem like the same thing because it's dispersed.
Right.
It's spread out. The responsibility for making a decision is spread out over many people who don't have contact with one another. Adams, the philosopher and economist, called it the invisible hand.
Okay.
And the invisible hand guides decisions that happens in economies, right? And it doesn't seem like it applies to you because you think, oh, well, that applies to just macro scale economies. But you're a micro scale economy in yourself.
Sure.
And when you are offering something, there are people who are going to consume it, and eventually, if you want to grow, you have to. It seems like whoring yourself out, but you have to kind of go towards what they want. And we happen to find something that appeals to people.
Yeah.
And we continue to put out content that people like because they like it, but also because we like it.
Yeah, but also we have made the choice to not chase some of the stuff. There is money we could get. There are publications that will write about us if we stop swearing so much and we change the way we do things.
True, but
this has been said to us.
Absolutely, we've gotten that criticism.
Fuck it.
But
we want to talk about assholes. And
but that's the thing. We have decided to limit our growth because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so then you get into the art, then you get into the defining success thing. And my point about these people with the magazine was, if you want to write for a big publication, then yeah, you're going to have to adhere to what they want. Of course.
Right.
Of course. That's why every time I see a movie where someone's like working at the New Yorker and they're like, I can't write this shit. It's like, you work for the fucking New Yorker. Of course you have to. Like,
you can and you will.
Yeah, or don't work there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, it's like an opera. Like, if you think you have an original idea in opera, you actually probably don't. Because there are people doing everything. The shit I've seen on the internet of people doing metal and opera, of people doing this in opera, it's like, it's all pretty much being done. It's just nobody fucking knows about it because it hasn't been put through some big classic FM channel where everybody sees it. You know what I mean? But if you dig for it, there is shit out there being said, but also being created. That's amazing. You need someone famous to fucking say, like, I'm going to do it, and then it becomes known.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It's fucking out there, man.
But that's the thing with creating art. I've always said you can create art in a hole in your basement.
Right.
And it doesn't change that it's art or not. Hey, there's one more thing I want to say about critics.
Yeah, go for it.
Right? Well, a couple things. Because we want to. I wanted to ask you a question about it, but first I want to say, does it ever bother you the language that they use?
You mean the pretentiousness of it?
Oh my God, and his voice blossomed in the air. Like
even when it's good. Even when it's good.
No, it's all. I mean, come on. It's first off, nobody ever talks that way, and secondly, it's oftentimes so. You know how when we say when your intention is clear, then it's not
shit, genuine. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, sure,
then it's not genuine.
Yeah.
All the time, it's so clear to me that
like how used is your thesaurus, man?
Yeah, exactly. They want. What does that shit look like?
His noble sonorious. I mean, I only know the word sonorious because I read it in a fucking critique.
And that's the most ridiculous shit of all time.
You know, his heroic sound melted my soul. Like, fuck you, all right?
There are times when that is appropriate, but you have to be careful with using that sort of language. Because actually, another Louis C.K. thing he said. What was it? Oh, he said, I couldn't believe that this person said, there were two guys talking, and he said, dude, I saw someone. And he's like, who? And he said, I saw Tammy. And he said, that's hilarious. He's like, you used the word hilarious because you saw, where are you going to go from there?
Yeah, hilarious.
Where are you going to go from there, right?
Yeah. It's
and
laughing
honestly,
to the point of insanity. That's what hilarious means.
If you are going to the East Kabamfuck Village Opera,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you are seeing somebody sing Tamino, and you're like, his soul flowed forth and caressed our bodies and our ears. And I'm like, you are not going to know what to do with yourself.
Then what happens if you heard Pavarotti?
Right.
You know, what are you going to write?
Actually,
you know?
the best critique I've ever heard was about Pavarotti.
Yeah.
It was simple.
Okay.
They could have bloviated, but they didn't.
Okay.
They used simple, direct language. Direct is always better.
Yeah.
And they said his vocal cords were kissed by God.
Jesus.
Now, I'm
Simple
sorry.
words, but put in the right order.
Simple
you know?
words put in the right order. If we have any critics out there listening, right?
Yeah.
Think about this.
Yeah.
Think about trying to say, if you really want to say something beautifully, think about saying it as concisely and directly as possible.
Yes,
Cut out words.
That's classic. What Einstein say, if you understand something well, you can say it simply.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And plus, it's more meaningful then. The other stuff is well, and that's the other thing is so many people are in this business for ego stuff.
Absolutely.
Mike and I have started this thing called the SDAO Gym. It's not very big yet. Right now, it's just a small Instagram channel, but we're trying to build something where voice teachers and fitness people can kind of come together and have a platform to talk about the things they do. But something I found in this is, do you know how hard it is to find someone putting out clear, concise content? Because I have looked at hundreds of voice teacher profiles, and it is all selfies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
totally.
they're like voice teacher, vocal instruction, daily voice tips, and then it's 100 selfies. If any of you know some Instagram profiles where people are putting out real fucking voice tips every day, can you please fucking send them to me? Because right now it's just a selfie thing. Anyway, the point is critics are doing the same thing, right? They're not writing a critique to inform the people of how the show was. They're writing a critique to inflate their own egos and also position themselves higher.
And okay,
Right?
so here's my question to
Most
you then.
of the
Here's
time.
the question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
How closely do you read critiques of you after the beginning of the show?
Okay, so the thing is when you first start singing and you get your first critique about you, if it's a bad critique, you're gonna have a rough time with that,
Right.
right? And your first 2, 3, 4 critiques, if they're good or bad, they're going to really affect you, and that's normal. But once you get a lot of stuff written about you a lot, and you have kind of a backlog of it, then at least for me, I think you stop giving a fuck, and you should. I did have an experience once where I was singing one of the biggest performances of my life, right? And it was a role that was a little over my head. It was a very, very dramatic baritone role, and I was like 24, you know?
Okay.
And the critique I got wasn't bad, but it was like, his voice is a bit too young and thin for the role, but it was sung nicely, you know? Which, looking back, exactly right. Spot on, right?
Right.
It was exactly right. But I read that the second day, and we had like 4 more shows. You know what I mean? And so it affected me, and I tried to change my singing, and I was pissed off, and I was stressed out. But nowadays, if I got a bad critique during a show, I don't think it would affect me that much, but it's always hard to hear bad stuff about you. I try not to read them, though, if that was your question.
Really?
I try.
I read them.
I also don't ask people. When I create stuff, when I write music, I don't say, hey, do you like this? Because I've done that before, and people will sometimes say no.
I've read.
And you know what? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
That's right.
If your friend, if your mom says, I don't like that, it doesn't fucking matter. Other people might.
That's true. I mean, that's a hard line to toe, though, because sometimes critiques can be really helpful. Sometimes critiques from other people. Like, I always listen to critiques from my wife.
Oh, I thought you were.
Always.
I thought you were specifically talking about
No, but
newspaper
you mentioned,
critiques.
No, you mentioned, though, talking to other people and they say, I don't like that. And I'm talking about that now. When my wife said, this wasn't clear, she's not a musician. And when she says, I've noticed that to have one person that you trust that's not a musician at all is really important, because they can hear things that other people kind of gloss over.
That's true. But also, she's probably more familiar with your performing than anybody in the world.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
maybe.
She's seen you on stage a lot.
Yeah, she's seen every premiere I've done, basically.
Yeah.
Except for a couple.
So she knows your standard and what you're capable of. And she has enough information that she can start to point out what's different.
Yeah, but also she said, because she's not an opera singer, she'll say, you know, I didn't understand these words quite so well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's something where opera singers oftentimes say, oh, well, you know, you can't understand all the words all the time. We sacrifice text clarity sometimes just for sound.
Yeah. But
For me, I really, really care about text clarity. That's a huge thing for me. So when she comes to me and says that, I think my ears perk up. I wanted to say my old colleague. Sorry, I don't mean to step on you. My old colleague, one of my old colleagues, said the best thing about critiques. He said, "Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and most of them stink."
That's true, man. And the thing is, like what you said with your wife, like Don't underestimate getting criticism from people who are not opera people, because at the end of the day, the intendant gives you the job. Your colleagues, they stroke your ego. But you know what? It's the 2,000 people that are not musicians that are listening to you that actually are going to make you a star or not.
That's true.
Do you think Jonas Kaufman is a star only because of politics, or do you think maybe a fuck ton of people like him? And you know what his technique, most people would say, is not fucking perfect, especially his soft
Whose
stuff.
technique is?
Exactly, but that's a singer critique.
Right.
But you know who doesn't give a fuck? People who aren't singers, which are most of the people watching fucking opera.
Absolutely.
Critics have the loudest voices, but they're not the majority.
That's right.
The majority of people sitting out there are normal fucking people. Talk to them, listen to them. But also, when you are criticized, don't always say like, fuck it, a bad critique, fuck that. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Sometimes they do. You got to balance that shit out.
But you can't just dismiss everybody all the time.
This language, I wanted to make a point about this whole his voice enveloped my balls in a nice golden heroic
in a golden hue.
This way of talking is in America, it's more common than Germany, and you actually have to be careful because on American websites, if you look at American singers, it's like. They always have a quote, like the New York Times, her voice made me come for days when I thought about it, right? And they have this on their front page, and then they always post reviews.
God, if I could just get see, what I want to do is I would love to start going to operas and then writing critiques like this, like we're talking about.
We could do it, man. It could be the SDAO.
If we could get somebody to put on their front page, her voice made me come for days.
Yeah, if we got big enough, we could have people write for us. If you're interested in being a critique for us and you're willing to write that somebody made you come for days, then,
how about that?
Send us an email. We might buy you some tickets.
If you're doing a show and you can get us tickets, then
in
send
Germany.
us the tickets and we'll go and we'll write you an SDAO critique.
But it's going to be an honest one, so don't think you're buying good critiques.
Yeah, we're not the class.
But in Germany, they don't do that shit. So if you come over here with a resume that's or you have the website that's a bit over the top, they kind of think that shit's stupid. Sometimes, especially on the resume.
After his aria, 15 people left their seats around me because I shit my pants so hard. That's my first critique.
I have to write this critique with two hands because I'm trembling from the the night of overlapping orgasms that his voice gave me in my dreams.
Oh man!
All right, look. All right, so let's get off this. So look, critics. Yeah, it's a fucking business. There's politics. Young people get in. They have voices that are bigger than what they deserve. That's the business aspect of things. If you really want to help, then if you find somebody who is doing something unique on Facebook or Instagram and they're doing something amazing and you think the world should know, why don't you put it out there? You know what? If you have 900, you know how many normal fucking people have 2,000 people following them on Facebook or something?
Right.
Put it out there, man. If you find someone, if you have a colleague that's doing great work, don't always focus on yourself. Your Facebook is not just self-promotion. If you see something and you have people following you, put it out there, man. Let's help each other. Take down the man.
Yeah.
Take down the fucking opera man.
One thing I want to say about you're talking about how when you start off it can affect you badly.
Yeah.
The only way to get over that stuff is to do it more and more and more and more and more. People talk about there's this whole culture today of trigger warnings and shit like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, apparently, that's the worst thing you can do for somebody is to shield them, to stop them from dealing with their emotions. That's you have to be able to confront things to get past things, right? Yeah. And it's really that way with criticism.
Yeah, and being... Were you done? Sorry.
No, go for it.
Being a singer is a little about being one of these unique aspects. I am not for a second comparing what we do to firefighters, police officers, soldiers, or doctors.
We're just as important.
No, we are not.
We're opera singers.
We play for a living.
What would the world do without us?
What we do is so unimportant compared to that stuff. But what I'm saying is, if you have one of those jobs, you're a part of society that only people that have that job too understand it.
Yeah.
And so in that way, we're similar. In that way, there is so much criticism you have to take as a singer.
In that way and only that way.
And only that way. Yeah, nobody fucking say I'm comparing, okay? We are not... Hold on, did I fuck this up?
Yeah, no, you fucked it up.
Look, anyway, so we understand each other, but you have to take so much criticism, and it's a part of this career, and there is no fucking way around it.
That's right.
And what Mike said is completely true. The best way to get good at taking criticism is to take a lot of it. And a big part of this career, if it's your technique, if it's not getting work like you thought, training programs, the criticism, whatever, a big part of this career is just staying in it.
Dude, it goes down to anything, though. You know, the first time I started taking voice lessons, it's hard to not take that shit personally when you first start off, you know? And it's because you're not used to taking that sort of scrutiny.
Yeah.
And the more scrutiny, I think it's like this for every profession, though. You know, I'm sure when you start off, right?
Yeah.
In any, let's say you're in accounts or something like that, and your boss comes to you and says, "Hey, look, when you do," and let's say maybe you prepared a spreadsheet and
your Excel spreadsheet's bullshit, man.
And they come in and you're like, "You're not even doing this close to the way we need you to do it. You do it this way."
Right.
And you think to yourself, "Well, fuck that guy.
Fuck that
him
guy.
hard."
Yeah.
And you shouldn't. Just
No.
because that's what they need from you, and that's their job is to come to you with those sorts of things, and that's your job as a professional opera singer to sing and have people evaluate it.
And I'm not great about this. Mike and I are saying this stuff, but sometimes this is a little bit of like do as I say, not as I do. Like I stopped doing master classes a long time ago because fuck that.
Well, master classes are very much like a critique.
It's a little bit of an ego thing. Yeah.
Well, no, you're that definitely. I mean, the person who is, well, I've been invited to this fine institution for you to hear my resonant voice and blah blah, right? But there's also this expectation that you are going to say negative things. I've rarely seen somebody get up there and have somebody and say, "Yeah, go start singing."
Okay, sit down. That was good.
Right? Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna sing it. You tell me some stuff. Huh?
I will never forget it. There was this one Russian baritone. He was like a Vodostovsky type. He had this long fucking blonde. It was beautiful. It was he looked whatever. Anyway, he came to CCM and heard maybe the most talented singer I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Okay.
She gets up there and sings, and it's just jaw dropping.
Right.
Having a huge career nowadays, right?
Yeah.
He gets up there and says, "Bel Canto's dead."
What does that mean?
Well, first off,
like, did she kill it or what?
I guess so. I fucking guess so. He said this to her up there.
He came ready to say that.
He came ready to say that. He's like, I can't wait until somebody sings something bel canto so I can say bel canto's dead. Because people expect for him to be critical.
And the thing is, I've seen master classes where they're focused on making the person a better singer, better performer. Those master classes are incomparably more interesting.
Definitely.
You know, what you did was amazing, but you lose focus of the character on this note. Because sometimes it's just one or two things.
Definitely.
And you know what? Just say one or two things. You know, do master classes have to be a time limit?
Yeah, totally.
You know? Just have an extra student in case it's too long.
I was lucky enough.
Short.
I was lucky enough to give a master class at Youngstown State. Right?
Yeah.
They invited me out. I was singing an opera out there, and they invited me to do something for a day. And there was this one girl, beautiful voice. I barely even said anything about her voice ever. The only thing was just helping her then with this other thing. Yeah. You know, just with the presentation then, right? And sometimes that's all it's about.
Yeah.
And it's okay to just say, all right, I don't have anything to offer you right here, right now on that. Especially since you're working with somebody for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
what are you going to change about technique? That's sometimes a really difficult thing
When we
see
anybody, when I see famous singers sing, I usually have one thing like, I wish you wouldn't have done that.
Right.
And if I was giving her a master class, I'd be like, that one thing you did, I didn't like so much. Why did you do that? If she had a reason, I'd be like, yeah, you know. But, there was something I wanted to fucking say about this. I can't remember. It's fucking gone.
Anyway, should I get the second beer before we do the other one?
Yeah, can you? I can't really get out there.
Okay.
I can't really go
with your cripple foot.
With the fucking toes.
I got you.
What were we talking about? How do we get to master classes, man? We take these routes.
Oh, criticism. We were talking about how a master class is basically like a critic, where they're going in and
taking criticism.
And we said they're expected to have.
Yeah, critics are the same thing, right? They're kind of expected to say something negative, and I don't know why that is. Here, you got to do the top latch up there. Yeah, you got it. It's down to the left. Don't step on it. Is it still there? Yep. Okay, I'm worried someone's gonna steal the beer. But you know, being a singer is a little bit like your first 10 years, you have to learn how to sing, and then. One of the reasons I became a singer is because I wanted an endless pursuit of doing something better. And the thing is, after your first 10 years of singing, then you get to the part of your career where you need to deal with the stuff like how you're going to be away from your family for so long, how you're going to deal with criticism, how you're going to sing when you're sick. And you know what? That stuff also takes 10, 15 years to learn. You never stop learning. And if you think there's not a learning curve with with criticism, or you think getting criticism doesn't change when it becomes your job. If you're in university and someone says you're saying like shit, I kind of don't get why people stress out so much sometimes. Because you know what? You're not paying your rent yet with your voice. But when you start supporting your kids, then you start freaking out a bit more.
Yeah, I suppose, but your dreams.
Yeah, I know,
everything
but
that you
I'm
want
just saying
is on the
it
line.
changes as you go through life. That's all I'm saying. And you need to be open to it, but it's a numbers game. You got to be in it long enough. All right,
Yeah,
so
it's perspective, yeah.
we're going to do it just the tip here in a second, but before we get there, so this is kind of a cult beer in Germany. Mike knows this
Definitely,
beer.
yeah.
This is the Rothaus Pils,
Tannenzäpfle.
Tannenzäpfle, yeah, and it's Tannen is like a fir tree.
Vom Hochschwarzwald.
Yeah, this is very famous beer in Germany. Everybody knows this beer, but we haven't done it on the podcast yet. Someday, if we repeat a beer or get the same beer, there's got to be some punishment for that, you know?
Who is going to punish us?
No, we got to do something. We got to sing like an Adele song. All right, look.
Dude, I can only sing one song right now. I can only sing one fucking song. And oddly enough, until it gets to the one high part,
What's
it
that?
sits really well in my voice.
You talking like a karaoke song?
The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen.
A
Kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen.
I bet I'm going to know more words than you.
The wind is howling like a swirling storm inside.
You beat me. Fuck, man. You're better than me.
Couldn't keep it in. Heaven knows I tried. My daughter. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
my
why you
daughter
know it,
and
man,
son-
because I taught that song for years, but you're listening to it right now.
Oh yeah, dude. Her and Jack, they both know the choreography to it. Also,
Dude,
and it's a good song. I tell you what.
it's a good song,
If we
man.
were doing text talk right now,
Yeah.
I would say, oh God, what is it about not looking back later on in the song?
Is it a verse or the chorus?
I can't remember.
Let it go, let it go. I can't remember.
Man, I can't remember it either. That's a shame because it's really good. The text is very good.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Frozen, what's it called? Let It Go?
Let
the
It Go.
song? Let It Go.
And it honestly recently has been. I'm a big crybaby. My emotions are way out of control sometimes, and I was watching Jack and Jeannie sing this, and
Do you mean
I
yeah.
honestly started bawling right in front of him because it talks. Let me see the text.
Look, Disney music used to be very fucking good, right? You had like Aladdin and you had like the Little Mermaid. And if you think that Little Mermaid song, what's it called? Up Where They Walk, Up Where They Run. That's a good fucking song, all right? And if you don't think that's a good song, you can come to fucking Hügelstraße 20 and you can fucking fight me, all right?
Crystallizes like an icy blast.
Da-na-na-na.
I'm never
Go
going
back.
back. The past is in the past.
That's good shit.
I'm never going back. The past is in the past. And when I think about that, I watch my kids enjoying this, and I think, the moment I'm done watching it, that's the past already.
Yeah.
And I think how quickly it goes. When you guys have kids, it goes by so quickly.
Yeah,
And it
then
makes you
time
want to
starts
fucking
flying.
cry.
But
Oh, man.
I saw a Disney movie the other day. It's called Mona in German, but it's called like Viana, I think, or something like that in English. And the music from that movie was horse shit. Yeah. Horse shit. Okay? Frozen was one of the last good Disney movies. Let It Go is a good fucking song. All right?
I also like, do you
Melodically-
wanna build a snowman?
Yeah, there's good music, but harmonically, melodically, text, that's a good fucking song.
Definitely.
Just like The Little Mermaid's a good fucking song, okay? But this Viana shit, I can't even remember it, but it was the most idiotic fucking melodies ever.
Right.
How could you do that, Disney? How could you take a step back like that?
Well, come on. Elton John wrote fucking... Didn't he write
the Lion King is you can you feel the love tonight. That's fucking good as
good
shit,
stuff.
man. All right, we gotta move on here, but
All right.
yeah,
Give me the tip.
Let It Go is a good fucking song.
Let
all right?
it go.
All right,
Let
here we
it go.
Shut the fuck up.
Just the tip, love.
Talk about good songs. Disney, I'm right here, okay? That's my sample reel. All right. So
I want to see what movie you would write fucking music for.
Oh man, it would be fucking terrible. The
No,
problem.
it wouldn't, dude. Listen, you're really good at
Yeah,
this shit.
yeah, but the problem I've had, because I studied composition for years, right? And ever since I was young, actually started doing it like at 14, right? And ever since I was young, they were like, it's climax the whole time. Which is true. My stuff's like from the beginning. It's like and like the whole. It's just climax, and it never.
You need some foreplay, dude.
Yeah. But these Disney songs, it's like it's about building and clever. The melodies are so clever. Yeah, that stuff. You know, and then it's like no orchestra. The snow blows white. It's like. I can't do that because
Silence is music.
I would have to have like a big drum go, like mine be like, I'm not gonna bang because I'll fuck this up, but I want to. Anyway, okay.
Man, what it must be like having sex with you. I mean, the woman just must be like,
Mini
hey,
Man!
kiss me on the neck. Shit, dude. Come on, take a breath. Take a deep breath. I'm one to talk.
Yeah, okay. This is getting off the rails.
Minute Man.
Mini Man!
Your superhero name. I'm the Minute Man.
Let me put it this way: when I have sex, I take a breath and I hold it, and I never pass out. Okay? It's like lifting weights till it's done.
Dude, come on, don't press those chords together. That's bad.
Well, I let it out.
Often.
I'm like, all right, this is getting weird.
Do vocal function exercises during. Just go.
Just pigeon sex. Yeah, it's very good for your voice. Okay, that's Mike and I having pigeon sex. How strong was that Miller Lite, man? I'm all amped up. Okay, look, I'm sorry. Okay, somebody wrote in again through our website, totally anonymously. If you want to be anonymous, though, stay anonymous. This person wrote in the name of the show, which I'm going to leave out because you wrote about something so specific that if I say that this person would know who they are, all right? So just be anonymous. Hey, guys, still loving the podcast. It's good.
That's good.
I was wondering what
we'll get there where you don't love it anymore. Just keep listening. You'll fucking hate it.
You still got me for now. I was wondering what your experiences were working with colleagues that you just couldn't get along with, or when they reveal aspects of their personal character you just can't get behind. As an extreme example, in a recent production of a show in my hometown, the main role during rehearsal one day was so cheesed that he decided to punch a hole in the wall, literally causing damage to the building. I'm not sure if it was because he was the only foreigner in an otherwise North American cast. Who knows? Are there any cases?
Don't blame it on the foreigner thing.
Well, look, I'm changing some of the words. Those are my words. Because if I say where,
what did she say?
Yes, she said where this person's from. But if I say where this person's from and what show they did, then this person would know. So I'm changing it because just be anonymous. Yeah. Who knows? The opera world's very small, man.
Very.
Are there any cases where you've seen this type of behavior, and how did you, the rest of the cast, and the management and administrators deal with colleagues that could be crazy? Thanks. Super interesting write-in.
Yeah, really good. Here's the beginning of it. You don't have to get behind somebody morally or ethically or anything to work with them. Remember, stay professional. The world is small. If you don't want to let them into a personal bubble, that's fine.
Right.
You don't have to. The standard should be the default should be you don't give a fuck about them. You just care about getting your job done. Remember, you're on stage. You have to cooperate, but your job is your job, and that's what you're responsible for.
And really listen to that. That's really good advice, because working with hard colleagues is in every job. Yeah, and at the end of the day, doing your job well is got to be the result. At the end of the day, the difference with our job is we have to kind of touch and kiss these people we don't like.
Nobody's going to remember if you got on board with them morally or ethically. They're going to remember what you did at the end of that production, what you looked like on stage, and that is your goal.
Yeah, and look,
professionalism, just stay to that.
And unfortunately, there's not one rule that blankets everything, because what you're talking about is a pretty weird fucking thing to have happen.
That's true.
But this stuff does happen. It is not normal, but this stuff happens. So there's not one way to be. But having some sort of adaptability, and being able to let go of things is something you can do, right? In these situations, like you punched a hole in the wall yesterday, man, that wasn't cool, okay? But then you have to let it go and you have to work.
Let it go. Let it go.
No, can't do it.
But the thing is, it's not about you. I don't think my suggestion would be, don't you go and tell them that it was right or wrong.
No, that's the administrator's
not your
job.
Yeah,
that's the
not your
administration's
either.
job.
As a matter of fact, if you're looking very selfishly, which you should go a little Ayn Rand on this one and think objectivism and think about yourself, right? Go and say, and say to yourself in this position, all right, I'll be able to do my job better if we get along professionally on stage, and he's able to come back after that and work effectively. So if he's willing to come back, if that guy's willing to come back and not be aggressive and everything like that, just go on, put on that happy face and talk and go and do it.
Yeah, there's a balance. There's a balance of like, you gotta take care of yourself, but at the same time, also know your job role. And it is not your job to corral the artists.
Definitely not.
That's somebody else's job.
Remember,
the
he's
director, the administrator.
Exactly. He's the one that made the mistake, remember.
Yes.
And it's the administrator's job to decide what the consequences of that mistake is.
But also, I mean, look, the thing is you will always have colleagues on stage that, and like another common problem people has is somebody's too violent with you on stage, right? They grab you too hard, they throw you down too hard, type of stuff.
That's sometimes me because I like getting into it.
Yeah, but like the thing is you will have to have these talks. It's unavoidable. You will have to say, I'm sorry you're grabbing me too hard. And if it makes you uncomfortable, this is a weird tip, but this is something I actually do, I swear to God, is if standing up for yourself makes you uncomfortable, because I tend to be a person that likes to just roll with it more than being like, hey, I'm not cool with this, and I'm trying to be better about that. Practice it in your everyday life. Yeah, when you're at a restaurant and you normally wouldn't say something, they brought me a mojito, but I wanted a fucking whatever, take those opportunities to speak up. I was at a drive-in movie in LA, and there were people in the back. And in LA, you sit outside of your car because it's so hot, right? That you don't sit in your car to drive a movie. You sit like in camping chairs.
Why go to okay.
Yeah, you're in camping chairs outside. It's cool.
More of a sit-in.
And then like at the back of the area, there were people with a radio on, like listening to music during the fucking movie. Like I guess they were waiting for the second movie and didn't give a fuck about the first one.
Right.
And normally I'd have been like, I can still hear the movie. It's cool. But I had the conversation with myself. I said, no, I really want to be the person that stands up for what I want. I'm not going to be a dick, but I walked up to them and I said, can you guys shut that music off? We're still watching the first movie. And they said, sorry. And it was fine. And you know what? I felt super guilty. Because I do for some reason.
You shouldn't feel guilty for something like that.
I know.
You're paying.
I know, but I did. But the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you don't do it.
Let me offer the second side to that, right?
My point was just stand up for yourself, and if you're not good at it, practice it.
Good.
You can get better at it.
That's very good. You have to train standing up for yourself. You have to train being assertive.
Yeah.
But let me say this also, right? You should not always stick to the way that you particularly want to do something.
Right.
Sometimes you say, man, I don't, I'm not used to doing it this way. I don't want to do this way. And you can get into the problem with practicing it is that then sometimes you can get into the habit of being inflexible, or get into the habit of saying, well, I have to stand up for myself. Sometimes you get really good results, unexpected results, and you can challenge yourself as an artist by doing things in a way that you wouldn't necessarily do them.
Right. And I would say the 3 steps when something like this happens.
3 steps.
I mean, okay, this isn't like something I planned out. I'm just saying.
Number 1.
Look, make sure when something like this happens, make sure you're perceiving it properly, which also takes practice in the moment.
Awesome.
When someone starts yelling at you, and they're like, you fucking tell me, and they start freaking out during rehearsal, you have to be like, is there something going on in this person's life that's making them do this? Or is this really about me? Is this person's wife sick or something?
Or is it just, oh man, it's the end of the rehearsal and shit.
Yeah, is it late?
Tired,
Think about how you'd react if a child was doing it. You know what I mean? Like, so 1, before you react, make sure you're perceiving it properly.
Good.
Then 2.
Wait, number 2.
Then make sure you stand up for yourself if someone's crossing a boundary. You want to have flexible boundaries. It's not a thin black line. It's a gray area. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And you can kind of expand that gray area. But if someone starts crossing boundaries, you got to say, hey, when you start punching holes in walls, I feel like I can't work. So you can't do that, right? Yelling's fine. Stomping your foot's fine. But when you damage property, it freaked me out. and now I don't trust that you're violent. Can
I
I trust you?
I guess, but
You know what I mean?
again, that's one of those things that's okay in that particular instance.
Right.
It's kind of so extreme that I'm not sure that you should.
Yeah, there's
I'm
no
not-
advice for that situation.
I
But
mean,
just that's not your
you-
job. Do it.
You
know.
going to them and saying, "I'm more uncomfortable whenever you."
Yeah, but
punch. Wait,
I'm-
one second. When
okay.
you punch holes in the wall, yeah, no shit. That's kind of something that you don't necessarily have to say. Of course, they must know that.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
person reacted in a. It's not like they think this is perfectly acceptable behavior. Me punching a hole in the wall.
Yeah, but I'm also talking to the directors and administrative
Oh,
people
yeah,
out there. You know what I mean?
definitely.
'Cause
That's something
somebody's
they
got to
gotta
talk to that
fucking
guy. As a singer, it might not be your job, but if you're listening and you're a director or something, those people also got to stand up for themselves. You know,
Definitely.
You got to go up to them. You got to be like, "Hey, man, like, I like your intensity, but give them the old compliment sandwich. Don't fucking punch holes in the wall."
I mean, it's a
but-
beautiful hole you punched in the wall.
Yeah, it's
great
beautiful.
wall.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Can you fucking fix it? So 1, perceive it properly. 2, stand up for yourself.
Number 3.
Number 3, do your job well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, make sure you do your job well. That's what matters. That's all people are gonna fucking see.
I mean, and that's most people's only desire is to eventually do a good job and to be known for it.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, also,
Complaining can be a difficult road to go down. Like I said, if you're just known as I know people who, oh man, they have to complain about everything. They just have to fucking complain about everything. And sometimes a colleague will come over to you and you see by the way they're walking to you
Yeah.
that they want to come over and bitch about something, and you're like, I don't care anymore.
Well, and we said earlier in the podcast that, once you learn to sing, there's still a huge learning curve that doesn't stop. And one of those things is if you start having an international career, or you work in Europe where, even a small gig's fucking international. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got people from China, from Russia, from Bulgaria, from Italy, from everywhere, right? When you start mixing cultures in a room, people that sing internationally eventually have to figure out a more homogenous kind of cultural way to be. But it might be 2018 where you are, but where that person came from, it might not be.
Yeah,
You know what
I mean, and that's, I
And-
guess, what she said by the guy being from a different culture.
Yeah, because you got people where their country's rampant with different gender roles, homophobia, or you're allowed to handle anger differently or whatever. You have
Sometimes
this
it's not-
stuff clashing. You know what I
Sometimes
mean?
it doesn't even get into unacceptable behavior. It's just, wow, that person's reacting or doing something in a way that I completely don't understand. And I notice, I don't mean to call anybody out, but I notice it the most with Russian colleagues that I have. They operate in such a different way than I'm used to doing.
Yeah, sure.
It took me some getting used to, and I'm like, okay.
But also understand where you land on the spectrum, because I did a show
Yeah,
once with a bunch of
definitely.
Chinese colleagues, and I was fucking crazy to them,
Right, totally.
I would do something, I'd be like, whoa! And they were like, oh, he's going crazy. He's going insane. You know what I
And then
mean?
they write into the show, and they're like, I was once with this baritone who's like, woo!
Yeah. But yeah, so there's also a learning curve with that. And if they're early in their career, they also haven't learned yet that you can't bring your culture into this. You got to find a more open, homogenous place. But look, be open about what you need, be flexible, be open-minded, stand up for what you need, perceive a situation correctly, but also know when it's your fucking job. You know what I mean?
Right.
Know when it's your job, but dealing with colleagues that are going to be too aggressive, they're going to throw you down too hard, right? They're going to grab you too hard, or they're not going to do enough, also happens, right? Or people are romantic in a way that you're not comfortable with. It's part of the business. It's part of the business.
True.
And you will have to learn how to have these conversations. At some point in time, you will have to have this conversation.
Sound advice.
Okay? And get legal insurance, all right? I swear to God,
Has
at the end there,
anybody-
I'm just going to drop that in there. Get fucking legal insurance, okay? So that if you need it, you have it, okay?
Listen, first off, what the fuck are you talking about? Legal insurance?
I don't know if that exists in America, but in Germany, you get legal insurance. I pay money, and then if I need a lawyer, it's covered by insurance. How do you not know about that, man?
Which in German? What is it? What's it called?
It's like Rechtsversicherung,
I've
I've
never heard that. You have that?
I'm getting it for the show because someone's going to fucking sue us eventually. I'm in the process of getting it right now, but I get it through Debica. It's just a normal insurance thing. And it's not that
Wow,
expensive.
I didn't know you were doing that.
It's like $30-40 a month. It's not that bad.
That's a lot, dude.
Not when I don't have to worry about I'll fucking sue all of you, okay?
All right, this is-
I will sue each and every one of you motherfuckers. It will cost me nothing, all right?
It sounds like a conversation we should not be having on the air. Hey, listen, I just noticed something.
Get legal
Tell
insurance.
me, has anybody else noticed this? Any of our listeners? Jared speaks way faster than I do. Dude, you speak at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I know. It's because I have so much to say. I can't keep up.
What are you talking about this? It's literally that fast.
I know.
And I don't think I'm anywhere close
No,
to you.
it's a problem. It's a problem because I think English speakers have a hard time understanding me. And we have a lot of listeners that are like Danish and Swedish and like Spanish. And I am sorry. I talk too fast.
That
I
means
know.
maybe you need to pregame a little bit before the show.
No, the alcohol makes me faster.
What?
Yeah, dude. I get amped up.
So then maybe you need to take Coke or something.
No, when I was
living
living in South Carolina, I had this voice teacher that was like a real Southern guy, and every voice lesson, he's like, "How was practicing?" And I'd be like, "You know, I was singing and I was trying to get this high note, and it's like the cover of the." He'd be like, "Boy, you talk too fast." Like he said that to me every fucking time we met. He's like, "Jared, you need to stop talking so fast." Like
I like it.
I'm sorry. I'll try.
Just sit down on
It's
the
also-
porch and have some sweet tea.
Just drink some sweet tea. But it's also the pain pills. I said it on one of the other episodes. I'm back on the pain pills, and they're stronger this time for the toes. So
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
fucking amped up.
Man, you're always on pain. That's why you. Oh my God, you're an addict now, aren't you? You dropped it on your toe on purpose so you could get more pain medication.
Yeah, man. I was at the gym. I looked over both shoulders. Yeah. Dude, I actually the toes, they heal really fast, right? And the funny thing is I thought it was over.
Not those ones, dude.
No,
Those
like
are just
they're about to fall off.
disgusting
But today
crumples
I
of
was walking
flesh.
around my apartment and I was like, it's good, man. And then I fucking kicked the suitcase
Oh my
that all of our
God,
mic stuff is. And you know when something hurts so bad that you close your eyes and just shake your fucking head?
yes. Basically, actually, for some reason, it's always with the toes. Every time I stub my toe really hard,
You just clench your teeth, close your eyes,
I
and you
just
just
sit there and-
fucking. That's when you know something hurts. That you have to like clamp down to stop you. Okay, this is way too long. We got to
it
stop
hurts
this
my
shit.
neck. All right, people. We love you. Thank you for the sponsors again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's like Christmas morning every time I wake up and see one of those emails. I can't even believe
Yeah,
it.
I wrote you all a personal message every time. Each one of you
He
sponsors.
sent you each a nice nipple pic.
Also, we wanted to give you the shout out, but if you ever have any
Nitpick,
questions or something, write us
nitpick,
personally.
nitpick.
There's new stuff in the sponsor section.
Nitpick.
For the rest of you,
Definitely
check out the blog. All right,
Nitpick.
see you guys later.
See ya.